Hi there, Gemini. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are here for you. This is your reading for January. Let's get into it. First of all, thank you so much for connecting. If it's your first time on the channel, this is the channel Alchemy and You. We're going to be taking a look at your January 2023. This is the very first month of the year. Mars is in your sign. It is moving out of push out of retrograde, and we're moving into Mars in Cancer. Just a little tidbit in terms of the astrology movements. Let's get into it and see what's what. We also have Mercury retro. Something important to keep in mind. Okay, so let's gather the cards. We just finished some other signs here. Feel free to watch whichever sign you feel guided towards. Your sun, moon, rising in particular may really resonate. You might find really points of major resonation with your sun, moon, rising. Let's get into it. Gemini, I was hearing here as I was meditating on your energy from your guides, I was getting that there was something that you feel you just need to end. Okay, it's something that you need to close out. It just doesn't make any more sense, okay, to hold on to whatever this is. Some of you, something is really sort of, it's expired energy. It's like something is done. It's like already done, and you're just like, okay, so why am I holding on to this? Like, why am I still sort of feeding this situation here with maybe even my thoughts? Some of you just want to sort of close a cycle out. Now, for some of you, I have to be very honest with what I am getting. I am seeing that for some of you, you may decide to sort of like move out of a situation with someone very particular. Maybe there was something that you feel, I keep hearing like that you were holding on to a certain situation, and you know, maybe literally it is quite like that. Like maybe it's something that you were just sort of still participating in the space of, like you were still giving someone sort of like your energy, Five of Cups, in some shape or form or another. You know, it could be that you were still talking to someone, okay, when you knew that I don't really see a long-term future here, okay, or there's something that just doesn't sit right with me with this person, but it's like I'm still talking to them, you know, it's like something like that. I see you taking very seriously the nuances, okay, of how it is that you're giving of yourself, okay, in your energy, your time. Ace of Pentacles, okay, so, and I'm getting that the minute that you do step away from whatever this is, and you know this, you're going to sort of be in a brand new energy space, okay, it's so-called New World. We have the Ace of Pentacles leading out of that Five of Cups. For some of you, this is about you holding a more sort of like open-minded perspective of what your world looks like. Is like some of you, you know, it's like I'm holding on to this person from the past now. Wow. Yes, you have two aces leading out of that Five of Cups. The minute that you address what it is that's sort of feeling very heavy and stagnant, Ten of Swords in reverse right there. That is when we really sort of are able to renew, okay, our vows with another aspect of our experience. We have the Ace of Wands leading into that Ten of Swords. There is a need to confront what it is that you have known all along. And I am seeing that that Ten of Swords is really relevant. Okay, so some of you may need to sort of like feel that you've closed a cycle out with communication. Okay, maybe some of you need to like clearly say something, but for some of you this is more, I'm seeing wedding rings here. Some of you may want to, let's back it up, clear throat chakra. This is a matter of maybe even just sort of casting an energy out of your space, like how do we say, like I'm going to literally try to just banish this experience, like to spiritually cleanse, to, you know, maybe finally tell this person that I'm not available, or, you know, to sort of explain what is actually at play in our connection for me, like what is it that I really believe in. Some of you, I see you getting way more brave with what you kind of know is your mantra and your mentality, and maybe some of you, like you have been sort of a little bit like detached, okay, from your perspective when communicating with whoever this is about whatever this is. Like maybe you've been sort of like, well, they like me, so let's keep talking, you know, something like this. But I feel like you're like, why should I go along with this energy, okay? Like if it's not making me feel right, if the energy that I'm feeling is not, yeah, and I see this also just more of you siding with your intuition. Now, some of you, I feel like you're honoring what you feel more, and you're also, again, like, wanting to talk about what you feel. For some of you, I don't want to say you've been hiding your feelings, but yeah, there's just something that isn't, it's just not satisfying, okay? It's just not speaking to your spirit, and it's about your long-term vision. I see this about nourishment over satiation, okay? Being nourished versus satisfied. I feel like there's something, and this, yeah, even psychologically, some of you, you're feeling bored, okay? It's like, I don't see a future here. I'm sorry, I have to just be very honest, like, I see someone not being able to really go any longer, seeing, okay, you know, this predicament. For some of you, it's maybe the style of your relationship, you know, it's like, we're only talking online. It's like, if I cannot see you, then I don't know what's going on here. For some of you, you haven't seen this person in a really long time. If this is someone who you're dealing with, like, that's really getting to you. Or yeah, I just see like a buildup of energy. So it's kind of one of those months where I don't want to say all the shit's hitting the fan, but it's like, it's not shit. It's the truth, and it's raw and honest, and yeah, it's time to talk here. So for some of you, you need to talk about maybe what is bothering you, or you want to clearly say. You don't want to just go along with like what someone else has sort of said, okay, about you even. I hear that, or on your behalf. It's like you want to have a more obvious and clear, distinct voice in how you communicate, maybe even to certain people, okay, maybe surrounding your life or a certain project. And I see you just wanting to have more discretion and control over also like your sense of self. Maybe you feel like someone here has been a bit controlling, or a certain person here, or situation or context, or again, the dynamic in the connection has been sort of like a little bit just not fair. We have the Seven of Pentacles leading on that last week, Movement of Wands. Wow. I see that this is going to be really important for you. Whatever you sort of let out of your heart space, okay? And you just sort of bring out from the space of like, I'm just all on my shoulders and I'm just talking about it all alone. There's something that's going to be really real. It's going to become really sort of even an experience that's completely brand new. It's like that moment when we finally talk about what we feel, and then there's renewal in the connection. Maybe if you guys were in no contact, then you start talking, and that's sort of healing, very healing to, you know, the space between you two, okay? Maybe, for example, yeah, it's like, also the actual experience altogether. It's like everything that has been is now sort of, more comfortable to deal with. I hear it like this. So I just see you finding a way to sort of address also, for some of you, like there could have been some hidden anger or resentment, and I see you sort of finding that there is an answer to how you can deal with this. And so there's a healing energy coming through for you, Gemini. I'm hearing Leo. There's something that maybe you are also diffusing, or you're rechanneling. It's like I see you finding that, you know, you are also able to be the one who defines for yourself what feels right. Okay, so maybe there was a little bit of this energy of sort of seeing a little bit too much of a potential between you and another person, but then it's like, well, what about how I'm actually going to express myself independently, okay? Yeah, because maybe, you know, you were starting to feel a bit codependent or like crutch-like with someone, and yeah, you're realizing I shouldn't also communicate or not communicate based on what I am feeling this person's feeling. So I see you sort of just getting more open, raw, honest, and I see that there's something that maybe was sort of challenging, and I see you're going to more directly sort of address it. And I feel that there is a new beginning here by way of that. I'm hearing tres leches. Interesting. For some of you, you're getting more brave with your career. There's something that you're feeling like, you know, more excited about. Okay, you want to sort of get out there more. I hear that with whatever this project is, with whatever even this like aspect of your personality is that maybe you're getting more into the groove of. I see you like less shy even about things that you're actually very happy about. It's like, why should I hide my happiness? Some of you, there is someone here who maybe you're going to you know, get more sort of like brave with. You may even sort of like experiment here in some sort of daring behavior where it's like, okay, I'm going to do those things I never did before with that person, or I'm going to say those things I never said to them before, or I'm going to, you know, finally say something period to them, or I'm going to do something about what it is I've been feeling. You know, there's something that I see you going to sort of take a strike with in that third week of January leading into the fourth. There's something that you sort of switch on with, and it is the actions you take. I feel this is like you kind of getting this fire beneath your butt and saying, I'm going to finally pursue and address this dream I have as well. And so you maybe need to clear some things before you're able to move fully into that space as you see it. This is something that, now I'm not saying that anyone around you is going to say something about. This is what you are feeling, Gemini, is what I'm getting. It's kind of like you're having that zoomed out sort of like aha moment, like trajectory in energy of that's what I need to do to be able to get to that point over there. You know, my backpack's too freaking heavy right now. Got to get rid of some of these books. So there's something that you are going to really sort of fully commit to, okay? So you're going to really invest in. You're going to really devote yourself to even, okay? For some of you, this may literally be commitment. For some of you, maybe, for example, it's like, I'm finally gonna get this off my chest. Hey, I really want to have a long-term relationship with you. Otherwise, I can't have, anything at all. I hear it like that. Maybe there's an ultimatum energy, and then, hey, who knows? Like, maybe this person is like, yo, I am, like, actually feeling the very same way, and I didn't like that we were in this, like, weird friends-ish zone with each other, and it was getting very awkward for me, too, and I don't want to just have, LOL back and forth. Like, I actually want to, like, kiss you, okay? So it may be, like, the first time, okay, where someone may be sort of coming through and, breaking down what it is that has been sort of building as pressure. Some of you, there's a lot of, like, complicated energy here of tension, okay, and of what was being talked about. Some of you, it's not that this is a wrong situation, it's not that this is, like, frustrating, it's the approach, okay, so, is it the issue, or is it, like, yeah, not communicating about it, so maybe some of you is like, upon communicating about something here, you're going to test that theory and say, is it truly impossible for us to find a happy medium here, or is it not, or is it possible? And if we talk about it, but I just see that you're at a point where you're saying, I'm not afraid to hear this other person react to what it is that I know is my personal truth. Let's go down the side of my body. There is a bit of pressure though, and I feel like you're realizing that that's not the story, and that will never be the answer. It has to be a matter of the honesty with which you express yourself, regardless if it's something positive or it's negative. So I feel like wherever you were neutral, I see you sort of saying, I need to sort of remind myself that being real is important, and having an outlet that serves me and is, going to speak on behalf of what makes me happy is going to be there, and I have to create that outlet for myself, identify what it is, and then actually live in that space. So for some of you, this is a matter of, really aligning, okay, your expectations as well of the life you want to live with, the behavior, right, that you take on, like the decisions that you take on, and realizing that everything matters. Okay, those moments where it's like you do feel something, but then you don't say something about it, those things matter. Gemini, you are an air sign, right? You are ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules communication, but it also, in the shadow element, can rule just communicate, okay? And not getting down to the heart, the core of what it is that is actually felt. I know Gemini energy very well. I understand that sometimes it's easier, it's like funner even, okay, to just sort of, make jokes about something, push something under the rug, okay? But, put it under the covers and deal with it later, okay? Let's back it up, go through it, just sort of not address it directly, which is that mutability of Gemini, which is, again, so beautiful. That energy can really, it could be so helpful in so many situations. But when it comes, especially to what it is that you may feel, okay, in a deeper way, where the emotion is real and the emotion is raw and the feeling is real and the feeling is the feeling, and it's not just this sort of like, this dance around in a flirtatious or skirtish way, what it is that you're really experiencing, that can become very uncomfortable over time, where it, let's go down the rest of the body, it could turn into, anxiousness, it could turn into frustration, moving in a direction that's just not really honest, like partying too much, or to have an outlet that is going to not be that outlet that you need necessarily. Maybe that outlet that's going to really speak to what makes you feel right. So for some of you, this is about coming home when it comes to how you pursue what it is you really want to create and create with, and that means you being satisfied. So does it mean that maybe there's something very simple that you just need to just simply talk about or address, or that you need to sort of incorporate more into your lifestyle? Let's back it up. Let's go through it. Some of you, this is a matter of, something that is important to you that maybe you didn't want to talk about because, let's say, you were worried that you saying whatever this is, that whatever is in need of yours, would mean maybe someone else, stepping away. And I feel like that's where you're getting really brave, Gemini, okay? And you're saying, I want this person to know. I'm smelling smoke here. I want this person to realize that I am in my reality right now, and that I cannot sort of step out of it, okay? It's kind of like you living for yourself and you knowing what's right for you alone is enough, okay? It's like, I don't need this person to agree with me or, sort of create that world with me. So it's like, if you're not going to agree, then I will go on my own. For some of you, let's go down the back. This is something kind of freaky. Like, I feel like, this is something that kind of is freeing, though, at the same time. And I feel that many of you here, you feel that there is a risk, okay? There is this feeling of, when I do say what I really feel, it may not be, okay? The reality is that it may not be what this other person, or this, what is my current predicament, okay, reflected back to me. So in the case of, right, this not being in full alignment with you, okay, there may be a so-called loss, but you're saying that now I realize that what is lost is the illusion that surrounds the situation or this person, you know, whatever has been, that this is right for me. Because if I am not feeling like I can really be authentic and integritous with what my values are, and that comes down to my happiness, then I'm not really here. And so this is you honoring your needs and your perspective of your needs as well. So if someone here is like, oh, that's not a big deal, but then it's like, it is to you, then yeah, I mean, your perspective is trumping, but that's always what you do about that, right? So, I mean, yeah, we can say, well, yeah, I know what matters to me, but then I'm not allowing myself to sort of be in the driver's seat with that, and I'm letting this other person, like, speak on my behalf about what's important for me. I feel like some of you are going to have a really important conversation that hits on this note, that really sort of solidifies, put the nail in the coffin, so to speak, and says, you know, and really sort of says it with sort of like pride, okay, and courage, that you don't need, okay, another situation surrounding that which you create for yourself to be the one that sort of gets you in a space that feels more balanced, okay, mind, body, soul, that feels more creative. And so that's what you're saying, like, I now have also the perspective, okay, to really sort of release, okay, the illusion of what makes me feel successful. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next